Hello friends! I am so excited to introduce you to the one resource that I had when I started off in Lolita fashion. Well, full disclosure, when I was beginning in Lolita fashion, I had my friend Kim who introduced me to Lolita and actually talked through a lot of this with me because I am severely dyslexic and have a visual processing disorder, so reading through blogs takes me a really long time and I have to sit and reread things and read things out loud and listen to it. It's very challenging for me, but I'm so thankful that she took the time to explain it to me. I also had one or two Shelby Cloud videos that I had saved that I watched over and over again, and there was also a Princess Peachy video that I watched, and that's where I began my Lolita journey, where I learned about the fashion. This is, of course, the Lolita Handbook on LiveJournal, good old LiveJournal, and this blog was written in 2006. The start of this blog has a disclaimer that it was supposed to be just a guidebook, it's not rules, it's just a resource to learn from. However, the community at large at that time, I feel, really treated this LiveJournal like it was the Bible of Lolita. Like, Mana-sama came down from the mountain with this blog on slabs, and it was the commandments that we have to follow. I've always been open to learning about Lolita rules and having an understanding of them, but then being able to break or change them. And I've kind of gone about it in a way that I feel like I mention, but I haven't really gone into truly. It's sort of just something that I've done myself, and I figure that everybody just did it. You know, you learn the rules, consider how it would apply to you, and then run with it. However, I get messages constantly from Lolitas who are beginners who just, or people who don't consider themselves Lolitas yet, and they're like, there's too many rules, I can't do it, too many rules, can't. So I wanted to take a look at this and not only react and see how things have changed since 2006, but I also wanted to show how I critically look at rules, and I always want you to be able to think for yourself and make your own decisions and considerations, because there's going to be times in all of my videos when I say things that you may not agree with or that don't apply to you, and I want you to feel confident that you can still do it your own way. I think that it's really important to know Lolita rules. I think it's really important to understand a coordinate. I think it's really important to know the history of it and see how it's evolved, because then when you wear it for yourself, you can explain why you are wearing certain things or why you've changed certain things. Lolitas seem to be strict around rules because they want to keep this style alive. They want to keep the identity of this style and this silhouette and this fashion. And I know, believe me, I'm a public figure. I know that Lolitas can often go too far in trying to keep the sanctity of Lolita alive and true and pure. And I also know that there are beginners who, when given constructive criticism, will go too far to defend themselves or be mad at Lolitas trying to give them advice. And I think that we both need to give slack on both ends and also be able to recognize when this is happening and say to yourself, oh, this person's screaming at me for not wearing a blouse, but it's 95 degrees where I live and 99% humidity and I physically cannot wear a blouse. And then you also gotta realize when someone's wearing like a polo tee with Lolita and they're defending to the grave that polo tee, maybe just let them be, say your piece, and move away from it. There are a lot of examples of this in my fixing coordinates videos. People will address why they are missing certain elements to their coordinate or why they are wearing certain things. And I think that as long as you express that understanding and respect of Lolita fashion, but change it, you'll be received with a lot more supportive comments. Of course, there are sometimes just bad eggs, and people have a false sense of security on the internet where they can say a lot of things that they wouldn't normally say in person. But if you have expressed your respect and understanding of the fashion and someone is still continuing to criticize or bully you, Imagine that conversation is happening in real life, and ask yourself if this person would really talk to you this way. And if they would, maybe it says more about them than about you. Maybe they're having an issue themselves. I feel that people often treat Lolitas as though every time they wear Lolita, they are like the definition of Lolita. They're representing the fashion. It's all on them. This is so important. When that's not the reality of it. There are some people who just wear Lolita casually. There's some people who are doing an experimental style. And I think that it's also important to recognize those circumstances, those times, and to also not treat every single Lolita coordinate, not every single Lolita post or photo as the end-all, be-all definition of Lolita, because that's just not the reality of it. I'm gonna go through this blog and look at it critically and see if I agree with these rules, if I disagree, and I also want you watching to see if you agree or disagree with me, if you agree or disagree with these rules, and I want you to take from this video the openness to listen to rules and also understand them and be confident when breaking them in being able to explain why you're breaking them, and just see the evolution of Lolita fashion. This blog is huge, and I kind of want to make a little mini series going through it, but I am worried that as soon as I bring any attention to this, the moderators may update it or they may delete it, so I might screenshot all of this just in case, but let me know if this is something you're interested in seeing more of. Today we're just going to be looking at the do's and don'ts of Lolita. Because I feel like this is an area where when someone tells you do or don't, it's very black and white. It feels very strict, like you either can or can't do this. So this is where I wanted to start. So the first don't and the first do. Don't do whiteface. Seriously, save it for the drag queens and visual K-stars who have hours to spend applying their makeup. The same goes for blue and black lipstick. Some people can pull it off if they're willing to devote a lot of time and money to their makeup and get nice products and apply it expertly, but otherwise it's just a bad idea. Oh god. Go for a more natural makeup scheme. All styles look better with the look of freshly scrubbed skin. This isn't to say don't wear foundation, but keep it light and as close to your natural skin color as you can. This will give you far more of a youthful appearance. To start, I honestly do not know what they mean with the term whiteface. I'm not sure what they're referencing or what they could mean. My guess is that in 2006 there was a huge trend of dolly eye makeup tutorials going around, and a lot of those tutorials showed people using white paint as a base or using lighter skin tones as a base, like go shades lighter, what have you. And the fact that they repeated that statement in the do makes me think that they're addressing more of the just stick to your natural skin color, which I completely agree with. I don't think that you need to be pale to wear Lolita. I don't think that you need to lighten your skin to wear Lolita. I do want to recognize that like Shironuri is a style that people wear, and they went into blue and black lipstick, and like, come on, so much moitié looks great with blue and black lipstick. You don't have to be an expert. This is creating so much pressure around makeup. Lolita fashion has never been about makeup, and yet people love to represent Lolita through makeup or be critical of makeup when it's really not what's important. The fashion is what's important. And yes, I'm a little bit bitter, and I'm a bitter old Lolita, because from about 2006, when I was dabbling in Lolita and living out my Ida phase realness, to 2015, I found that people constantly ridiculed my makeup, constantly. It was such a point of contention just for wearing pink eyeshadow. And I feel like the makeup that I wear now is a lot more intense than what I wore then. And yet I just always was told that I needed to wear natural makeup with Lolita. And I feel like part of it was probably because of this handbook. I think that makeup is a really cool area to experiment with in Lolita, and I think that there is not a uniform Lolita makeup look at all. All Lolita looks that you see are adapted from other things. There's like the hangover makeup that you see a lot of people wearing. There's like the dolly eye makeup look that was much more popular back in like the early 2010s. There's clown makeup, there's gothic makeup, there's visual kei makeup that makes its way into Lolita. Like, there was never really a guideline for Lolita makeup, so you can wear whatever you want. Don't wear a mini skirt. This should be obvious, but it's one of the most common mistakes. Arrow loli skirts are shorter than usual, but they are still safe to bend over in. Do wear a skirt no more than 2 or 3 inches above your knee. For non-arrow loli styles, it can be longer if you like. Up to about mid-shin, then you're in ball gown territory. I want to address too that before we go any further in this article, in 2006, people used the term loli a lot. Even I used it. People in the West really did not understand the connotation that it had in Japan with lolicon. So you'll see it a lot. And at some point, everybody kind of decided to stop using that, but obviously this was written in that time, and they are talking about Lolita. Anytime they say loli, they're talking about Lolita. Arrow loli is honestly a sub-style that I still don't truly understand. I do find it really interesting that Lolita brands have released miniskirts, and I don't honestly know where that falls, because I understand this. If you're taking, especially in 2006, there was not as many resources when it came to buying Lolita. So there were people who would take like just a flared short skirt and be like, this is Lolita now. I am genuinely curious when Lolita brands release things that are not to the Lolita silhouette, what they are considered. I think of a lot of the angelic pretty ones that I'm familiar with. I usually think of them as being like fairy kei style, but that is interesting. I agree with this, honestly. I do think that when they talk about ball gown territory in more modern years, there have been dresses that go a lot longer than mid-shin to the floor sometimes. And I still think that that is Lolita. It's more of the like elegant aristocrat or like hime styles of Lolita. Don't show your petticoat. It can be acceptable to wear a petticoat as a skirt or having it show through another skirt in punk or arrow loli styles, but in no style should your petticoat seem as if it were unintentionally peeking out. That tends to just look sloppy. Do wear a petticoat an inch or 2 shorter than your skirt, and also make sure it doesn't show through the fabric. Wear a white skirt for lighter fabrics and a black skirt for darker. I agree with this totally. I think that you can make the choice to have your petticoat be part of your look, especially if your petticoat is more decorative, if it has like a little edge with lace and lining, like you can show it intentional, but make it a decision, I guess. And I do think that like with punk Lolita, it can be cool to have, people really don't wear punk Lolita anymore, and I want to see more of it. To have like kind of a contrasting petticoat can be cool. I don't agree with it can be acceptable to wear a petticoat as a skirt. Personally, I don't like that style. To me, it looks like it's unfinished. It looks like you're just wearing your Lolita undergarments. But I do think that that is a cute, I've seen people pull it off in really cute ways. It's just a personal pet peeve because I'm so used to perceiving petticoats as an undergarment when it's really, it is a skirt. Like you could do that, but I think that petticoats as a skirt look really cute in sort of like 6% Doki Doki styled outfits and like Decora and Fairy Kei, but I don't think that in Lolita it looks unfinished to me. But that's just my opinion. Do wear clothes that suit your body. Not baggy, but not too tight either. Your clothing should be tailored but still comfortable to move around in. Don't wear ill-fitted clothes. That's so easy to say if you're somebody who fits brand. That's such an easy statement. I am able to fit into a lot of brand, but it is physically uncomfortable a lot of the times, and it's just something that I've come to live with, and I shouldn't have come to live with it. And I do really want to invest in more indie brands. I want to look into more tailored brands that have more than one size. I think it's valid, but I think when you're talking about big brands that only have one size, it kind of sucks to say that. I know this is going to result in a lot of people asking for plus size resources, so I'm going to quickly give some video suggestions to save time. Callista has a mini series called the Plus Size Lolita Crash Course. Melty has a video on common plus size Lolita problems. Asami has a video of examples of plus size friendly Lolita dresses. Petticoats is a YouTube channel with helpful videos on plus size Lolita wardrobes, and I will have all of these linked in the description. Don't just throw your hair back into a ponytail while in your Lolita finest. Do remember to style your hair to suit your outfit. You don't have to spend hours achieving the perfect sausage curls, but do brush your hair and either leave it down, but not lying limply, or put it back elegantly. I think that this is a fair statement. Like, have an intentional hairstyle, and I think that this definitely depends on the situation of which you're wearing Lolita. If you're a lifestyle Lolita and you wear it every day, sometimes you are gonna throw your hair back in a ponytail. There's also been countless times when I've been at meetups or conventions and I get too sweaty in a wig and I just take my wig off and put my hair in a bun because I physically need to be more comfortable. And I'm not in that moment, I'm not, doing like a photo shoot for Lolita, I'm just living my life. So that's important things to consider. Don't be a slob. Fair, sure. Do take care of your appearance. Wash your face and iron your outfit before going out. Try and keep your clothes in good condition because a lot went into affording them. I completely agree with that. That's a completely fair statement. And I used to be so adamant that I did not care about ironing my Lolita. I was like, it's too much work. I hate ironing things. I hate it so much. But then I got a steamer. And for those of you who have watched a lot of my videos, I can't say enough good things about my steamer. It makes things so much easier. Don't wear your headdress or hair bow right at your hairline. Do wear accessories pushed back so they lie at the top of your head. Bangs tend to make hair accessories look more natural and elegant, but are not required. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear, so this is a wig, but my hairline is about here. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear hair accessories right here. I don't know if this is even necessary. Is this necessary to say? Don't wear cat ears for the sake of cat ears. You might have a cat-themed Lolita outfit for Halloween, or perhaps you bought a Lolita jacket with cat ears, but don't just stick some on for no reason. It will make your outfit look like a costume. The same goes for wings or any other non-clothing item you may add. When you're building a Lolita coordinate, there's a lot of pressure to feel balanced, and sometimes, myself included, I've done this. You just grab things because you want to feel balanced. You think, I need to have a headpiece, I need to have something on my head, so I'm just gonna throw cat ears in. But if you're wearing like a space print or like a non-printed thing and there's nothing else in your coordinate that reflects cat ears and it's not planned out, it does look weird. And it's cat ears and bear ears and ears in general are something that you have to sort of work into a theme rather than just throw on. Don't carry parasols inside or outside when it's raining. They're not umbrellas and can't go in the rain, but it's still bad luck to have one open indoors. Do wear sunscreen every time you go outside, even if it's not that sunny. Premature aging is so not lolly. I'm a very superstitious person, but I don't believe in the whole parasol, umbrella, indoor, outdoor bad luck thing. I do think that if you have your umbrella or parasol open inside, it can really be annoying and get in people's way and hit people and stuff, so you should always be aware of that. I think that parasols can be a really good feature to pose with if you're, say, at a convention or an event. I think that it would be fine to open it inside if you make sure that you have enough space around you and that it's not going to hit anybody. There are parasols, not brand parasols, but there are ones that you can find that are waterproof, and I think that they're really helpful to have because then you can use them to also protect yourself from the sun and the rain. Don't wear socks over tights, it's just weird. Do buy a pair of wool stockings for winter months. when it's cold out for just socks or regular tights. I disagree with this. It really depends on the socks and the tights. I think that in Gothic Lolita, it looks really cool to have fishnets and then OTKs that are lacy. I think that's such a cool look. I love it. I also think in Sweet Lolita, I've worn a lot of frilly ankle socks with tights because sometimes it adds this little extra accent to your ankle and kind of connects your tights with your shoes and looks really cute. This concludes the do's and don'ts portion of the Lolita Handbook. And I've got to say, it is a good resource. It is helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's any Lolita rules that you don't agree with and why, and stay lovely. The dress I was wearing in this video was provided by Zen Plus, and the dress is Baked Sweets Parade by Angelic Pretty. Thank you so much. I've already worn this dress a few ways. It is so versatile and adorable. Zen Plus is a marketplace within Zen Market where you can shop from loads of Japanese stores. They will make ordering and shipping much easier for you. This dress is from Maiden Clothing Shop within Zen Plus. I've made a full video on Maiden Clothing and Zen Plus. I will link in the description. Lolita pieces are often bought secondhand and aren't always readily available, so it's important to keep tabs on as many resources as possible. It's always good to check in and see what Maiden Clothing has in stock, and you might just find your dream dress. Follow Zen Plus on Instagram for more styling tips, photo inspiration, and more things you can order easily from Japan through them.